night in 1993, a man suddenly woke up in the middle of the night. He felt something burning across his stomach. At first, he thought it was just a bad dream. But when he turned on the light, he saw 3 deep scratches across his body. And the worst part? There was no one else in the room. Some houses are abandoned because they get old. Some are abandoned because of tragedy. But some houses are abandoned because something inside refuses to let people stay. This is the terrifying story of the Sallie house. The house sits in the quiet town of Atchison, Kansas. From the outside, it looks completely normal. Just a small 2-story home with a porch and old wooden walls. But according to local legend, something dark has existed inside that house for more than 100 years. Many people believe the spirit of a young girl named Sallie still lives there. In 1993, a young couple named Tony and Deborah Pickman moved into the house. At first, everything seemed normal. But only a few days after moving in, strange things started happening. Keys disappeared and later showed up in places they had already searched. Lights flickered for no reason. Doors slowly opened by themselves. Tony believed there had to be a logical explanation. Old houses make strange noises after all. But the activity inside the house was only getting started. One night, Tony suddenly woke up with a burning pain on his chest. When he looked down, he saw 3 long scratches across his stomach. They looked almost like claw marks. Deborah thought maybe he had scratched himself while sleeping, but the marks kept appearing, night after night, sometimes fresh, sometimes bleeding. Tony began to feel like something inside the house hated him. Soon the activity became impossible to ignore. Objects started moving across rooms. Doors slammed shut violently. Electronics turned on and off by themselves. But Deborah began experiencing something even stranger. Sometimes she heard the sound of a child laughing in empty rooms. Sometimes she felt like someone was standing behind her, watching her. And occasionally, she claimed to see a small shadow figure standing in the hallway. The attacks on Tony soon became much more violent. One night, Deborah woke up to the sound of Tony screaming in pain. When she turned on the lights, new scratches were appearing across his body, almost as if something invisible was attacking him. Tony Lemaire said he felt like something was holding him down while clawing at his skin. At that moment, the couple knew they were dealing with something far beyond normal explanation. But what they didn't understand yet was why this was happening. And the answer may have been hidden in the dark history of the house. That was when they began hearing the story locals had whispered about for years. The story of a young girl named Sallie. According to the legend, Sallie lived in the house many years ago. One day she became seriously ill. Her parents rushed her to a doctor who was staying in the home. But medical procedures in the late 1800s were very different from today. An emergency surgery was performed right there inside the house. And according to the story, the doctor began the operation before the anesthesia had fully taken effect. Sallie suddenly woke up during the procedure, terrified, confused, and in unimaginable pain. But the doctor believed she was simply reacting to the medicine, so he continued the operation. But Sallie did not survive. Some believe that the trauma of those final moments left something trapped inside the house. Something angry, something confused, and something that may still believe it is fighting for its life. Eventually, paranormal investigators were invited to study the house. Cameras and audio recorders were placed throughout the building. During the investigation, several strange things were recorded. Footsteps in empty rooms, whispers with no source, and objects moving when no one was nearby. Some investigators believed the spirit of the little girl was responsible, but others believed something darker might have been hiding inside the house. Something that may have been using the story of the child to manipulate the family. Eventually, the Pickman family decided they could no longer stay in the house. The activity had become too violent, so they moved out. Today, the Sallie house has become one of the most famous haunted houses in America. Paranormal investigators still visit the house, hoping to communicate with the spirit of the young girl. But some researchers believe something far darker may be hiding there. Because after years of investigation, no historical records have ever confirmed that a girl named Sallie actually died in that house. Which raises a disturbing question. If Sallie never existed, then what exactly was scratching Tony Pickman in the middle of the night?